Hi, I'm Sarah Dahl. I did my presentation on the Romanian population in the US. I'm going to start with an apology. I'm sorry this will be backwards. I have tried, but due to multiple technical difficulties, this is what we're doing. I'm a paramedic in Door County, and we have a large population of people from Romania that come with the J1 visa program for work. So that's kind of how we're connected, or that I came up with the idea. Again, I'm sorry this is backwards. I don't know how to do that. So Romania is an Eastern European country. It's by Ukraine and Slavia and everything. So, one thing that really sets Romania apart is they like to think of themselves as like their own country, their own unit. So when people try to insinuate they're like the same as other Eastern European countries, it can almost be taken as an insult because they really do pride themselves on they're pretty self-sufficient from surrounding countries. And another issue is that a lot of these countries kind of have a lot of different like government and different various issues, and they kind of like, if it's their problem, it's their problem, not their problem, if you know what I mean. All right, so one of Romania's largest exports is wine, up to 40% of the world's population. So there's a pretty good chance that you've had wine from Romania, which I also think is pretty interesting because we have such a large population that comes to Door County. So it's kind of funny because Door County is known for like their cherry and all their wineries. So they're kind of going from their home of vineyards to up to Door County, where they're really pretty known for wine as well. Their biggest export is machinery. So they have a lot of factories making machinery. But I thought the wine thing was really interesting just because it kind of connects the two. Another thing that they're really famous for is Dracula. I did not know that. I almost kind of thought that Transylvania was a made-up place, but it's not. It's in Romania. They even have the castle. Dracula is thought to be the first vampire. He was made by Bram Stoker's in 1897, but he actually wasn't the first vampire. The first vampire was called The Vampire by John Ploorter in 1819, and they refer to it as the vampire being born. So the first vampire was born in 1819, and then Dracula was in 1897. Also, something interesting I didn't know is that although they're very proud of Transylvania and the history and the castle and everything, I didn't know that calling a Romanian a vampire was an insult. And it's a thing. And I've talked with some of my paramedic partners and people that live up there, and it is a real thing that people call them vampires. And before this, I would have had no idea what that meant, but interesting, but be very respectful. All right, so the most common language is Romanian, spoken by 89% of the population. Like most other European countries, you know more than one language. And if you know only one, it's kind of rare, or you're like an elder. But most are bilingual or trilingual. The second most common language is French, and then the third is English. But I just have kind of some examples, but I really am not even going to try because I am terrible. All right. So Romanians are known to be very matter of fact. They aren't going to sugarcoat anything. They say it how it is. And they speak loud. It's something also that kind of makes them stick out. And if you're in a room full of Romanian people, it is normal that whoever is talking the loudest is being heard. So if you're kind of quiet and soft-spoken, you might get a little outshined by a Romanian. They're very expressive and animated and just, very in touch with themselves. Um, and then also, titles are everything. If you don't address someone by like sir, ma'am, or whatever their title is, it's taken as disrespect, especially for an elder. And titles, you'll remain your titles for a long time. Touch, again, so they kind of, they keep their distance, arm's length or more when talking to a stranger, which helps because they speak so loud. Eye contact, and then once they really get to know you, they'll kind of like touch your shoulder and stuff, and then once you are formal and in touch with a Romanian, that's how they really communicate and show that they're engaged in the conversation, is with the eye contact, and they'll like touch your shoulder and they're very touchy, but don't expect them to really, it takes a while, I would say, for them to like really trust you and gain that formality with you, because it is, keep your distance, titles, and respect. Again, so age and titles are everything. I mean, you are going to show the utmost respect to your elders. And also there are patriarchy, so the man runs the dad will run the family, basically be the boss and makes the rules. Do's and don'ts, accepting food and drink. They like to like show things that they make, and it's a way of a friendly gesture. So denying something that they like made, like if they make wine or make food, and you don't accept it, is taken as disrespect. Again, with the formality, you're not going to be their best friend after one dinner. So just because they are a little standoffish doesn't necessarily mean that they don't like you. The truthfulness and trustworthy is because they're so matter of the fact, and they always say how it is, so they expect you to say it how it is too. So if you kind of go against them, they're going to really have their guard up about you, that you are a very trustful person. Don'ts, so they have a history of like communism, and like I was saying earlier, if there's like an issue in the past or with other countries or whatever, it's pretty much safe to just stay out of it. It's just leave it alone. Social setting, they're more introverted at first. They respect strangers, keep their peace. But then when you get more used to them and more comfortable, they'll start opening up and being a little bit more respectful. And then they're really known for being private and in the family. So if you want to try to ask them these personal questions, especially around other people the first time meeting you, they're really it's going to be off-putting for them because it's in the family. And, first names are pretty much reserved for family, or unless you're really familiar with that person. Religion is Orthodox Christian. Pretty much very strong Christian. I just kind of say, if you have anything about the church and whatever, I would just leave that aside, because they really have like the older traditional strong values. And it's just kind of an argument I wouldn't really start, but they have the strong core values. So the J1 visa program is for workers to come to the U.S. it's like an exchange program. They can go to school here, but a lot of them come for work during like the summer. So like a lot of them are college students. There's a big pull to Door County, because Door County has a lot of tourist attraction, and not that many people really live there that work there, because a lot of people are from Chicago or traveling and whatnot. So they really have a high demand for seasonal work. So there's a plethora of hotels and restaurants. Most of them don't really have like the customer service side of it, because even though it's required for the J1 to speak English, a lot of it's very broken English, and it is kind of hard to understand them. But that doesn't mean that there isn't a whole bunch of work that's, available. And they're very, very hard workers, and without them, I don't know what they would do in Door County, because I think they are the number one J1 visa, and then there's like 2 other countries that come also. So, Romania and the United States do have a very good working relationship. They do, so you can like travel back and forth and whatnot, but with COVID, it still is shut down to just family and business only. And then with the J1, so to apply is like $160, and there's like these minimum requirements. And then they can apply for like permanent residency. So we have quite a few people there in their 30s now that ended up moving to Door County from Romania after working the J1 program visa to come work for a summer. And then this is my works cited. And yeah, any questions, let me know.